Hello, I'm Pastor Sherry Ayers, and I serve as the interim pastor at Zion Lutheran Church in Worcester, Ohio. Welcome to Beauty in the Dust, Lenten Reflections on Ordinary Things. This is the devotional reading for March 5th, 2021, on the theme of bread. Today's reading is Psalm 37, 1 through 11, and 25 through 26. And I am reading from the Psalm texts provided in ELW, Evangelical Lutheran Worship, the worship book of the ELCA. Do not be provoked by evildoers. Do not be jealous of those who do wrong, for they shall soon wither like the grass, and like the grass fade away. Put your trust in the Lord and do good. Dwell in the land and find safe pasture. Take delight in the Lord, who shall give you your heart's desire. Commit your way to the Lord. Put your trust in the Lord and see what God will do. The Lord will make your vindication as clear as the light, and the justice of your case like the noonday sun. Be still before the Lord and wait patiently. Do not be provoked by the one who prospers, the one who succeeds in evil schemes. Refrain from anger, leave rage alone. Do not be provoked, it leads only to evil. For evildoers shall be cut off, but those who hope in the Lord shall possess the land. In a little while, the wicked shall be no more. Even if you search out their place, they will not be there. But the lowly shall possess the land. They will delight in abundance of peace. I have been young and now I am old, and never have I seen the righteous forsaken or their children begging bread. The righteous are always generous in their lending, and their children shall become a blessing. This psalm is hard to hear, in part because it recounts aspects of daily life that can be hard to live. Bread is the theme of this particular devotional reading, and there's a brief reference to bread near the end of the text. Did you catch it? It's a reference to the hunger of children, to those in need. To my mind, though, there is bread, or at least a bread subtext to this psalm as well. Because throughout the psalm, there is both the danger and the promise of things that grow and yield, like yeast that impacts the whole batch. The psalm is about the faithful living in the hope and promise of tomorrow when today is sorrowful and clearly broken. Those who seek to do evil prosper. And it's easy, as the psalm says, to be provoked by such things. It's easy to be tempted by rage. The psalmist, though, keeps directing our attention outward to tomorrow, to a future in which the lowly shall possess the land and delight in the abundance of peace. One of the things I found most interesting about this poem as I was studying it is that it's an acrostic poem. Maybe you wrote those when you were in elementary school, where you take each letter of the alphabet and create a line, or in this case, kind of every other line that begins with that particular letter. A few years ago, I learned the word abecedary. It is exactly what it sounds like. It comes from a Latin word that means an alphabet primer, a way of teaching children their letters. And in some ways, an acrostic poem is a little bit like that. It helps kids of all ages learn something about the world by using this pattern of each letter of the alphabet. So I invite you into a little Lenten practice this particular week. I invite you to put down the letters of the alphabet and to give yourself the time to reflect on life through that lens. Can you come up with the ABCs of lamentation and sorrow and loss in these days? Perhaps for your neighbor, for those in need. But then can you come up with the ABCs of gratitude and maybe even more, the ABCs of hope? You could use this psalm as an invitation to that daily practice of naming the things for which lamentation is the only response, but also not giving into rage, but rather letting that drive you to hope and faith in God for tomorrow, and maybe even a call to how we might live into that reality in the morrow. And then even letting that opportunity grace this day, letting it bless us and letting it take root and grow like yeast that leavens the loaf of bread. Blessed Lent.